this video is supposed to be my favorite drill here for compression, and this is the hanger. Now, I have a normal plastic hanger that I just took out of my closet. I have a couple different options. You can get training aids for this, but this is just a normal hanger. And I'm gonna talk about how to do this. When I put the hanger on, I'm gonna put it on the side of the club. I put the bottom of the hanger even with the bottom of the grip. Now, when I put it on, I like to have the hanger resting right on the side of my wrist right away. So bottom of the hanger, bottom of the grip, hanging, hitting right on the side of my wrist. I take my normal left-hand grip, the hanger's in my fingers. Might feel a little bit weird if you haven't done this before, that's okay. And what I'm trying to do is from here, feel what impact feels like. Now, if I go from here and I press the hanger against my left wrist and open my left hip, that's what I want my impact to feel like. So I take my setup, I press the hanger against my left wrist, and I open my left hip up. That's essentially what I'm looking to get get compression. Hey guys, Eric here, back outside at the Bethlehem Golf Club. What we're going to talk about in today's video is my favorite compression drill, and one that you do with the lead hand or lead wrist. Love this one. You guys are going to love it too. Couple things before we dive in. Number one, we have launched our in-person coaching schedule for this year in Bethlehem, PA. There's some private coaching in the early months, and then we are going to do some one-day golf schools. We'll include the link in the description down below for that. If you can't make it to Bethlehem, PA, would still love to work with you through CogornoGolf.com. That's our online community full of golfers like you and I looking to improve. As a member of Cogorno Golf, you get access to all of our master classes, like the putting master class we just came out with and all the other ones. You get access to our Facebook group where you can post your swing, and I myself will give you feedback along with the coaches at Cogorno Golf, main priorities to work on, how to practice, and really build a plan for you to improve, as well as everything else that we have on the site you get access to. Now, in today's video, we're going to talk about how the lead hand and a compression drill that works with the lead hand. And there's a lot of different drills you can do, and there's a lot of different feels that you can do for the lead hand. And as part of our trip that we just went on, certainly I tried a lot of different training aids, and this is a drill that I always come back to and that I want to remind you about so you put it in as part of your normal practice, because I always see great benefits when I hit shots with it, and you're going to too. Now, before we dive into what the drills are, and you can have some clues if you can see what's on the ground there, let's just go over briefly what I mean when I say compression. So I've got this little stick here, this little tool, which is going to show the loft, the face angle in terms of the loft on the club. So it's just this little magnet, and you can see where it points is generally where the loft of the club points. Now, when we say compression, there's two main factors that are going to get compression on the ball. Compression is when you hit the ball really solid. So we're trying to hit as solid as we can to hit the ball as far, right, as we can. It's going to feel really good coming off the face. Two main factors. Number one is the dynamic loft. So if I take this little stick here and this angle, the lower that I have this angle here, that would mean lower dynamic loft. So you notice as I do that, the shaft on my club is leaning more forward. Now there's some better and not so good ways to do that we'll cover, but we want to get this little angle lower. That's part number one. If I get it higher or pointed more towards the sky, that would be more loft, less compression, shaft more back. Less loft, more compression, shaft more forward. That's number one. The second thing is the angle of attack. So the second part of compression, if we kind of use my arm here as the ground, when the club comes down, the more vertical that the club comes down, less compression. The more closer to the ground, like a plane landing, more compression when you combine it with lower loft. So if I take this and I bring this with a real shallow angle, and notice how this stays low. See how the angle between my arm and that little tool there is very, very close together. That would be a compressed ball. Notice that my shaft is leaning forward there. Now, if I lean my shaft back, that angle gets wider. That little pie there gets bigger, less compression. Now, if I hit the most down and have the most loft, that would be the least compressed. That'd be like a flop shot. If I hit real level with the least amount of loft, that'd be the most compression like a driver. So just real quick before we dive in there, that's what we're looking to do when we're talking this drill here, is lower the dynamic loft while hitting very little down on the ball. So very shallow angle of attack with lower loft is the key here. How do we do that? A lot of different potential ways. This video is supposed to be my favorite drill here for compression, and this is the hanger. Now I have a normal plastic hanger that I just took out of my closet. I have a couple different options. You can get training aids for this, but this is just a normal hanger. And I'm gonna talk about how to do this. When I put the hanger on, I'm gonna put it on the side of the club. I put the bottom of the hanger even with the bottom of the grip. Now, when I put it on, I like to have the hanger resting right on the side of my wrist right away. So bottom of the hanger, bottom of the grip, hitting right on the side of my wrist. I take my normal left hand grip, the hanger's in my fingers. Might feel a little bit weird if you haven't done this before, that's okay. And what I'm trying to do is from here, feel what impact feels like. Now, if I go from here and I press the hanger against my left wrist and open my left hip, that's what I want my impact to feel like. So I take my setup, I press the hanger against my left wrist, and I open my left hip up. That's essentially what I'm looking to get get compression. But to take it a step farther, I want to feel the hanger against my left wrist the whole way. We said lowering the dynamic loft is one of two main components for compression. The main way I lower my dynamic loft is with my wrist conditions, which is what this is for. So I have it against my left hand here, left wrist. When I work back during my backswing, I'm gonna press it against my left wrist so I can feel it on there. As I continue up, I'm gonna continue pressing it. As I continue down, I continue pressing it. When I say pressing it here from down the line, you can see I have it on my left wrist. If I motorcycle my wrist there a little bit or curl my wrist so my left palm is more towards my body, that's what's putting pressure on it there. So it's flexing that lead wrist. So I put pressure on it. I continue to put pressure on it. So now here my club's at last parallel. I'm still putting pressure on it. I'm gonna still put pressure on it in impact and through impact. So I want you to feel pressure on it all the way during the backswing, all the way in transition, all the way during the downswing, and all the way through impact. That's not in reality what's gonna happen, but that's what I want you to feel. So more compression, we need lower dynamic loft. We have the hanger on my wrist already. Press it against my wrist, press it against it, really press it against it at the bottom, and really feel it curling against there. And that's gonna be my compression. So I'm gonna start with an 8-iron that's about a half swing, and I'm gonna focus here. I'm gonna do my impact, press it against it by curling that left hand a little, left hip's open, realign, and now I'm just gonna focus on the backswing part here to start. So pressing it against going back, pressing it against coming down a little bit, and I hit that one a little bit thin, but those are gonna be my feels for more compression. Let's do that again. Hanger on the side. I'm gonna press it against my left wrist to start. And some people put it more in the middle here. I like to just start it right on my left wrist there. So I'm gonna press it against here and really feel it pressing against on the way down. I think I'm curling my left hand under and my right wrist stays nice and bent there. So hanger on the side, pressing against going back and coming down. And that was a much better compression than that first one that I hit. And what I'm trying to do here is gain a feel when I use the hanger, right? And again, you can use it something simple like this. We'll do one more. Hanger on the side, pressing it against my left hand, pressing it more, pressing it down, pressing it against. So I feel constant pressure. If I go back and I don't press it, what happens is the hanger starts to come off of my wrist. My club face gets too open, my shaft gets too steep, I have no compression. So hanger on the side, just a little half 3/4 one, pressing it against the whole time. And that's a beautifully compressed shot there for me. And again, what I'm really focusing on here, and you can start short like this, is really the last half of the swing. So what I'm really focusing on, and in our previous video we did on my favorite compression drill with this is what we really focused on, is from club parallel during the downswing, I can really feel this against my wrist. From here to impact, I'm increasing the pressure against my left wrist. That's what I'm really feeling. So from here, I'm increasing the pressure from here at impact and just a little bit past impact until my follow through. I'd love you to do it the whole backswing. I'd love you to do it the whole way down to make your life easier. But really from here, impact, and here is where you really have to feel it. So You can even do little shots like that, just kind of halfway back, make sure your club face is tilted down, and then a little bit from the inside, and press that against it on the way through. So even just little half ones there, I can do. Again, making sure this starts on my wrist, feel my club face is tilted down a little bit, and then pressing against it. So I can just even start with those little compressed shots. That for me is an 8-iron that felt like a half swing, probably was full, and I hit that about 150, right? So same sort of thing. We'll just do 1 or 2 more here. Hanger on the side. I'm looking in my delivery position for the face to be tilted down and just slightly inside my hands. I'm gonna take this position and push that and keep cranking that as I turn to impact. That's gonna feel my compression. Let's do 1 more. Awesome, and there's another one. And that's gonna be the part that's gonna give me my dynamic loft. Now, we said in the beginning, compression is low dynamic loft with a shallow approach. This video and this hanger is really to focus on just the dynamic loft part, not as much the shallow angle of attack. What I'm telling you here is that's how you should game plan this. You do this first, you do the hanger first, you get the dynamic loft down first, then you can look at pieces for your angle of attack. If you're still hitting too far down on it, you might need to change swing direction. You might need to feel the hands working more up and around. You might need to extend the body more. That's for a different video. But my favorite compression drill with the left hand is with the hanger. Go simple like this. You can tape it onto a side of a club, get the actual hanger training aid, any of those to help your compression. I recommend putting this in as part of your regular practice, even for 5, 10, 15 balls each time if you struggle with compression and are looking for more. Hey guys, thanks for watching today's video. If you like the video, do us a favor, click the like button down below, it really helps us out. Click that notification bell. Also, please subscribe. Another reminder, every Monday, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are live here on YouTube for Rapid Fire Golf. Starting this upcoming Monday, May 18th, we'll be back, and then every Monday after that. Hope to see you there.